welcome to the Born for Greatness podcast. I am so glad that you've joined me today. I have a very special guest, Danny. Danny, it is so nice to have you on. Thank you for joining me.
No, thank you for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let's just start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am from Orange County, California. I've been involved in real estate for about a little over 7 years. And a little bit about my past and where I come from. So from 18 to 20, close to 27 years old, I was incarcerated in federal prison for conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine. In 2004, I got incarcerated. In 2012, I got released, and I've been on this journey in real estate, and it's been an amazing journey.
Wow. So what made you get into real estate?
You know what? I just knew I wanted to get into something like real estate related. I didn't know exactly what it looked like at the time. I just liked houses. I liked real estate. I liked development. I liked construction. And so when I was inside, I said I was going to get into real estate, and that's how it led. But little did I know is when I got out, what type of real estate that I was going to get into.
Interesting. So what is your focus real estate wise right now?
Well, right now we do a little bit of residential and multi-use, and then I do development as well. So we tear down houses and we build affordable housing all across Los Angeles.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the development side. So that's really great. Can we go back though? Can we talk about you said you spent how much was it? 10 years in prison?
Well, yeah, I got incarcerated. I got my amount of time that I received was 120 months. Out of those 120 months, I was incarcerated close to a little over 8 years.
Okay. So I know I had Travis Ritchie on a while ago, and he had some staggering numbers of people who come out and end up going back to jail. Was there anything in particular that helped you kind of transform your life and go in a better direction once you got out?
Well, Rebecca, everything, it definitely was it was really, really hard when I got out. There was a lot that changed. Obviously, I went in at 18 and I got out close to 27 years. So it was a lot has, changed over the period of time. But when I got out, I realized that it was very easy to go back in. But it really comes down to, pretty much, to me is mindset. Is definitely mindset environment. And if I didn't have the right mindset that I created inside of prison, away, then and the environment that I had, in the support system, it would have been nearly impossible.
So do you credit a lot of your success to a support system in particular?
I would say yes, but number one is my mindset, because when I went in at this age, right, at 18, I was a young kid. And then, over the years, I picked up a book that was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that book changed my life. Right. So that was the first book that I read.
Wow.
And from there, I picked up a lot of different types of books. Right. I mean, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. And that's where the mindset, the thoughts, the belief, that's when everything started getting created, and it built, from year after year. I built this person, I built this mindset that I had in prison that I came out with.
That's amazing. So how do you feel like that has contributed to your career in real estate? How has that made you successful?
Well, the thing is it's the same thing. Thought it's environment as well, but it was just a different type of group of people. Right when I was outside, before going to prison, I was around this environment, around these people, And it's the same thing. When I got out, I was hungry and I wanted to change my life, and I wanted to be around successful people. So what did I do? I put myself in that environment. But it was through the books, it was through the readings. I was on this journey. Like, it took me 2.5 years to really say, hey, I want to make a change in my life. I want to come out
Yeah.
here better than I came in. I do not want to come back to prison. I'm
Right.
tired of prison. I'm tired of doing time. And these books, these readings, kept me alive, kept me motivated, kept me inspired to want to do something out here. And then through these books and these readings, I was able to, want to grow and be successful. And I attracted these people that I met out here that became mentors and coaches and role models. And that's how it kind of happened.
Wow, that's incredible. I think that people underestimate the power of your mindset, and like, we all know that like our brains are, complex and can handle so much, but we don't necessarily realize that our words have so much power over us. And even just saying positive, affirmations about ourselves can really change our outlook. And it really truly is amazing. I applaud you for the success that you've had, and just coming from mindset. That's pretty awesome. Now, do you think that there is a way to, like, I guess, have other people in the prison system kind of get a hold of these books and hopefully have the ability to change their lives as well?
Well, I mean, the I was very fortunate. I went to federal prison, so I was around a lot of white collar criminals that were successful, right? I mean, they were,
Right.
had, college degrees. I mean, they were successful business owners, and
Mhm.
so that was the benefit of that. But I mean, what I have been doing in the past, prior to like COVID and everything, just is that I've been donating books inside these juvenile halls,
Oh,
and giving the number one
amazing.
book that changed my life, which is The Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, that's amazing. That is really such an incredible book. And, I think even just like in high schools, we should have
Definitely.
young adults start reading those types of books. I think it would have a huge impact. Huge
And
impact.
and what I used to do too, I mean, it's just like with like just in COVID, it really messed up a lot of things. But I used
Hmm.
to go into the high schools, and I used to actually go there like maybe beginning of the month, and I would go back at the end of the month, and I would have them write an essay on the book, on the Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, wow.
And I would
That's
like,
amazing.
and we would just do little gifts, little raffles of whatever the top essay was at the time.
That's amazing. Wow. Incredible. That's really incredible. Um, let's move off of that real quick back to real estate. So, what is the real estate market like out in your area right now?
Amazing. It's good.
It's amazing.
But
That's awesome.
but it comes back to mindset, right? Like, I can tell you, like, hey, the rates, the market, the buyers, the sellers, I can tell you all this, but realistically, like, Danny Navarro's market is amazing. Like, and that's just the mindset that we have to have. No matter what, I'm going to create whatever it is that I want. And that's the way I look at it. Because you know what, is the market in the best position, right? Probably not. But hey, my market's good, because it's all
I love
mindset.
that.
It's all mindset.
Yeah, it's so true. So what would you say to like a new agent, because the market is so cyclical and you're going to have ups and downs, especially as a new real estate agent? Like, do you have like a number one tip that you would give somebody in reference to mindset?
In reference to, to answer your question, as far as a real estate agent, I would definitely say, I mean, you want to go somewhere and get somewhere faster. I mean, definitely you want to connect with the mentor.
Mm,
That's just, I mean, that's just the way I just have, like, if I want to, just if I want to get somewhere faster, I'm gonna copy somebody that already has a recipe for success.
mm.
And as far as like mindset, it just really comes down to belief. Um, we really have to believe in ourselves, in what we want and what we do. And sometimes that really comes with a lot of work, because sometimes there's a lot of self-worth, there's a lot of self-doubt in ourselves, and sometimes we can't believe ourselves, right? We don't believe in ourselves that we can do certain stuff. But it's just it takes time to just chip away at stuff, to at some point you start believing it more. And it's just really, it's a belief. It's definitely a belief, I would say.
That's very true. Did you work with a coach at all, or just simply from the books?
No, I've had coaches and mentors, and for since I've been released, I've always
Oh, wow.
had coaches. I've always had, I mean, I look at it this way, like literally when I was outside prior to going to prison, I had role
Mhm.
models. Those role models
Right.
were not the best. And so I'm like, hey, look, if I can just switch this, if I can just be around people that I would want to, that I'm inspired by, that I'm motivated by, it's the same thing. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what it is. I just pivoted and changed the environment, changed the people. And I was always so hungry to learn, hungry to grow. It was just this environment that I was in, but I didn't know any better. I was 12,
So
13,
true.
14, 15, 16 years old. So at that age, you don't know any better.
Mhm. That's a good point, and it does speak to how important having the right people in your life is, for sure. Um, so what is your passion?
My passion is, I really, so just recently, like I would say maybe like in the last few months, I've been completely open with my story and just my past.
Mhm.
And I was, honestly probably ashamed still, like just, I was maybe embarrassed. I
Mhm.
didn't want people to know. And a lot of people did know, but like clients and stuff like that, I
Yeah,
didn't, because obviously I do real estate. I'm selling their houses, I'm selling their most important asset, right?
so
And
true.
it's like this guy been incarcerated. I mean, I live in Orange County. So I mean, obviously there's a lot of judgment and stuff. So I had a really just really tell myself, this is not about me. This is not
Mm,
about me. This is not about Rebecca. This is not about this person. Um, it's really about changing lives, right? But not only
yes.
changing lives, but changing the generation. So, and when I look at it that way, I'm not worried about sharing. I'm not worried about anybody, because it's not about me. It's about really changing people's lives. And not only that person that I'm going to talk to, not only you, but like, how can we change the generation after? Because it's so
Yeah.
much for more beyond than you, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and when you look and when you look at it that way, like, I mean, how can you not help? How can you not serve? How can you not give back? And like, as more as I share and give back and open up and use this social media platform, I get calls, I get texts, I get direct messages, people reaching out to me and saying like, dude, thank you so much. You inspired me. I'm like, what did I do? Like,
Mm,
oh, you said this or you did that. And that's awesome, because we're being a contribution to the world. And even so many people out here, like, they may not have done actual physical prison time, but they're
mhm.
incarcerated in their head out here, and they're
Oh,
struggling out here.
well
and
said.
and and that's just definitely my passion. Like, I feel I'm here to serve. I mean, I got a second chance at life, and God blessed me with this opportunity to share and to inspire others, because anything is possible, right? Like, I mean, I came from the worst environment. I didn't like, I like you, right? When you talked about, you said, hey, there's a lot of people that go back to prison. Like, I beat the odds.
You did.
and and that's a blessing.
Absolutely. I think it's so important too. Like, I love that you just touched on the fact that it's hard to share your story because of shame. And I know, we all have stories, or we all have something. Um, it was very hard for me to start sharing mine and the abuse that I dealt with because of that. Like I was so ashamed and I didn't want to tell it, but there's freedom in telling your story and there's purpose in it, because having people, like you said, come back and say, you know, your story had this type of impact on me is amazing. It really is. I think we downplay our significance often.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
No, 100%, 100. And you know what, like, and like, as I've been opening up, as I've been sharing, like, I think I for sure have more joy and happiness and peace in my
Mm,
life, and
yeah,
I'm more fulfilled.
absolutely. So, I mean, what do you say to somebody who is feeling like there's really no hope? This is their life sentence is whatever it may be. How would you talk to someone like that? Do you have a piece of advice or something that you could give?
Well, I would say is that you have to, at some point you get tired of being tired.
Mm,
You may, maybe with jobs or maybe within a relationship, or, for me, I was tired of doing time, right? I
yeah,
was just tired. Like, I'm like, dude, I got to do this, for another 7 years, 8 years, and it's just like, you become just, just, you just like, you lose hope, right?
yeah.
But the thing is that I had a desire to change my life.
Mm,
And I made a decision. So it comes with a decision. Like, you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. Hey, I'm going to make a decision to change it. Maybe it's losing weight. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a job, whatever it is. You have to make that decision. And
yes.
if you can't make that decision, you're not going to be able to change, because the change starts with us. I made this decision to change my life 2 years into my sentence and say, hey, I'm going to come out better than how I came in.
Hmm.
And when you're motivated to do something and you're inspired to do something, then no matter what, nothing's going to get in the way, no matter what. Like, this has been an 18-year journey that I've been on, and I've been released for 10 years, and I have not given up. No matter what, I have not given up, because I have a desire. It's bigger than me. I want to change. And that's the way I really look at it.
Wow, that's great. I mean, you said, you know, how we can help the next generation. Can you into that a little more? Like, what are your thoughts on how we can inspire and bring hope to the next generation?
Um, how can I bring help and inspire the next generation? It's definitely about making a difference in your life. It's about, whoever's listening to this call, right? Because
Mhm.
by what I'm sharing, my experience, this podcast, right? Like, we're able to help that person make better decisions that's going to keep on going into the
Yeah.
generations. But I like to live my life by be, do, have, right? So and that's like one of the number one things I always talk about, to the younger generation, is that, like, before I had all this stuff, I started to be this person.
Mhm.
So if, I want to have, this success, right? Like, how does that success look like? Like, who do I have to be to have that? If I
Mhm.
want to have this awesome relationship, well, who does Danny need to be? Right.
Yeah.
And that's the being part. Like, every day, I'm always challenging myself. Who do I have to be today to make, to go after my goals and my dreams, right?
Yeah.
And then that goes into the be, the do, right? And then that follows up with the actions that I do every day, that leads up to the have, right? And I really believe that, like, if we live by that, backed up with like action, like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna manifest. But to give hope and generation is just like anything. Like, to me, it's like anything's possible. Like, it's all possible. Like, I mean, I can show you my ID, I can show you my prison ID. Like, there's no excuses, right? Like, I mean, you can have two people, you can have someone come from a really good upbringing and someone from the opposite. It's their decision. It's the
So
decision.
true.
And we've seen it all. Like, you've seen it, I seen it. Good family, bad family, they both fucked up.
Mhm.
Or one's good, one's
Yep.
not good. And I'm just, obviously a living proof that, I had a bad my family, my parents separated at a young age. My dad was on drugs. I got
Mhm.
involved with drugs. I got involved with gangs. I went to prison. I made a decision to change my life, and I'm, living my dream life now. And I'm a living proof
Awesome.
that anything's possible. And I think, by inspiring the next generation and just sharing what I'm doing, what's possible, because a lot of the times, when I'm speaking to the kids, like, they just don't know any better. They
True.
haven't been around different people. They're just around in their environment.
Mhm. That's so true. Interesting too, accountability. Like, I think that, people talk about change, but if you're not willing to be accountable and say, I need to make this change, or I did this, but I don't want to stay like this or continue to be this way, like, it is so important to learn to be able to be accountable. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing to take accountability. In fact, I think it's the opposite. It's truly very important.
Um, I agree. Accountable and having integrity, right? As well, like being
Mm,
accountable and having integrity. So, like, my accountability, like, I mean, I like have set up so much different accountability in my life to be doing what I'm doing, right? And it can be from, going to the gym, checking in with people, playing little games, right, to work out and to do certain things. But it all is like, the accountability is amazing, because we all need accountability, but it's also with integrity with myself. If I'm going to do something, then I have to live up to what I'm going to say, because that's my word, right? And if I
yes.
don't live by my word, how am I going to manifest and have all this that I want? If I can't do what I'm saying I'm going to do. So that I got to be real with myself, and I have to have integrity with myself before I can even have, to share with anybody else. I have to be real with myself.
That is amazing. Like, that's amazing. That one thing that you just said is so amazing, because I don't think we talk about having integrity, and just to say that, like, how can you manifest these things if you don't have integrity? Like, that was such a good statement. I really feel it's very true.
And not only that, but like like having the integrity, but like it can be as small as, like, how many times do we show up late, right? Like, it's like you're
Mhm.
showing up late. Like, so what is your word when you're showing up late? And like, so, and that's just cleaning up our bullshit, right? Cleaning up all our stuff,
Yeah.
right? And when we start to be on time, when we start, and I'm not perfect, but, like, I have gotten better. But when I start to do what I'm going to say, and start to take certain steps, like, I do see the progression, I do see the growth in myself, right? And because I'm living by my word, and my word is
Absolutely.
everything, right? So if I'm going to say something, I'm going to do certain thing, like, it's going to happen, it's going to manifest, because that's what I'm pretty much saying out to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, like, 1% better every day is huge. If you can just focus on 1% and not a huge number, like, you can do that. You can
Right.
make those little things, those, like you said, being on time, which I think sometimes people think isn't a big deal, but if you don't hold yourself accountable to the little things, how can you hold yourself accountable to the big things?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. I mean, you have such an incredible story, and I'm so glad that you're sharing it with people. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's just like, it's a beautiful thing to be able to share this, because we're able to get it out on these, social media, on these platforms, to
Yes.
share it out with the world. So, it's amazing, it's a blessing. And like, like I said, it's not about me, it's not about me.
But it gives your story and what you've been through purpose.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's incredible. So thank you so much for sharing with me and everyone listening. If someone wants to reach out to you, how can they get in touch with you?
Best way is probably email. So it's my name, Danny, and then letter N is for my last name, and then at team@gmail. So Danny N team@gmail. Or on
Awesome.
social media, Instagram is it's just my name, Danny Navarro.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I will make sure to tag you on the post, and hopefully someone will reach out if they feel the need to maybe they want to get a little better, and you are truly an inspiration. So thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. And be sure to tune in for the next episode.